Now remember the title of my sermon, Wisdom Through Relationships. You better watch people who giving you foolish advice. You see, they made Rehoboam's job hard, and the kingdom ended up splitting. Bad advice can split your family. Bad advice from those who you think that is popular, prominent, have positions, guess what? They can tell you stuff at the expense of your children. Bad advice can cause you your relationships. You know why? Because you went to a fool and started talking about what's really real to you. Let me say this to you. Don't let folk make you think because you see them, and watch this, you may hang around them and you may fraternize with them. Don't let them make you think they really care about you. These guys did not care about Rehoboam, because if they did, they would have said to Rehoboam, you need to listen to the elders and listen to the elders' advice, because if your father took the kingdom to the zenith of his power, then if you do the same thing, then you can take the kingdom to your kingdom to the next level. And here's the problem, y'all. A lot of us are not listening or learning from those who God has blessed. Golly. All right. Can I give you one more? Bad advice. You better not listen to folk who are not married and you are. Gonna tell you, man, I'm telling you what I'm gonna do. Don't listen to Andre. Anyway. Andre was my work friend. He's one of the reasons why I'm here. But he ain't married. Watch this. Listen. Don't you listen to that advice when your partner start telling you about your wife? Oh, help me, Holy Spirit. And watch this. And then you start saying stuff like, well, all men do this. And know you got a good woman or a good man. No, not all men and all women do the same thing. And then all of a sudden, you start going home judging your wife or judging your husband based on what you done heard in the workplace or based on what done happened in somebody else's relationship. You know what? You better watch and stop listening to that bad advice. Bad advice. The grass is greener on the other side. That's bad advice. Because if it was so green on the other side, they wouldn't be trying to look to get back to where you are. The companion of fools. Don't miss that verse. The companion of fools will destroy. And hear me, y'all. This last minute or two, I want to talk to somebody who's about to destroy themselves. Because you done left the wise. And you hanging with companion of fools. Now, some of you may justify and say, well, that really ain't me. But sometimes when you hang so close to an environment, you don't know what rubbed off on you. You can be acting like your environment and talking like your environment and don't even know your environment has changed you, but the people who are around you know that your environment has changed you because you're rolling with companions of fools. Half of the time, you are the last one to know that your environment has changed you because you caught up in it. So this is why I said this first point is, if you're going to be wise and have a wise relationship, you need to assess your current environment. Evil communication. Thank you. Evil company can corrupt a good matter. Hey, that's a Bible verse. Dr. Davis, bad company can corrupt. Now, watch this, Phil Squires. It doesn't mean that they going out killing, stealing, and shooting. You can be nice, and still you hanging with those who are nice, but it's corrupting your conviction. Let me see, can I close it? Say close it. First of all, good relationship starts with wisdom. First thing you do is assess your environment. The second thing you do is choose your friends wisely. The third thing you do is don't compromise your conviction for comfort. The fourth thing you do is watch out for camaraderie with the careless. And here's the fifth thing you do. Turn to the best friend who stick closer than a brother. Proverbs 18 and verse number 24. Here it is. It says, a man who has friends must be friendly. But you got to choose them wisely. But there is a friend who stick closer than a brother. As 18 and 24. Listen. Read it with me one more time. A man who has must. But there is who what? I want to encourage you today to choose the best friend. Now, I talked about having a friend and how you have to choose them wisely. I normally tell married couples that you ought to be friends before you get married. And I told them, Reverend Squires, that in the marriage counseling that the word philios, where we get our English word Philadelphia, it means a friendship love. If you get ready to get married and it's all just eros and sex, I got to tell you, it may not last. And in that filial love, it all leads to agape. Now, I said you got to choose your friends wisely. And what you got to understand that when you choose a friend, you ought to be able to talk to them. I told y'all Reverend Allen is my friend, but I've been married to my wife for 38 years. She's my friend too. Such a friend that I can tell what she's thinking. She can tell what I'm thinking. I can tell when she's in line. She can tell when I'm in line. She can tell when I'm out of line. And I can tell when she's out of line. You know why? Because we've been around one another long enough that there is a friendship part that comes along with it. But I need to tell you something. Listen, you better choose another friend that can tell not when you're just doing well, but knows you better than anybody else. And here's what you got to understand, that you know who I'm talking about, right? Because sometimes my wife, as a friend, she don't know the deepest things in my heart because she's not omniscient. She don't know everything that I feel. Guess what? My wife is not omniscient, and she knows I love her. She knows that I'm going to bring my money home. She knows that I'm going to be there, and she knows that, hey, she can come home to me because I'm going to be there. But guess what? I need a friend bigger than my wife. And there comes a time that all of us need a friend that is bigger than our wives and bigger than our children. Can I get a witness in here? And I want to encourage you that you need to choose Jesus as your best friend. How do you know if you choose him as your best friend? He said, I'll switch the paradigm. And what he means by that is that I won't look at you as a servant anymore. I'll use you as my friend. And how many of y'all know that the best friend that any of us can have is a friend in Jesus? That's why the old folks said, what a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and grief to bear. And then they said, and what a privilege it is to carry everything to God in prayer. I'm going to tell you why I ought to choose a friend in Jesus. Because some of my burdens, my wife just can't carry. Some of my wounds, she just can't wipe away. Some of my tears, I don't care what she do, she can't dry up my eyes. Some of my depression, only Jesus knows about it. Some of my worry, I don't want to tell her because I don't want to put it on her. Some of my loneliness, I don't want to tell her because I don't want her to make her feel guilty. But oh, that friend that I have in Jesus, I don't have to tell him anything because he knows just what I'm going through, and he knows just what I'm feeling, and he knows the burden that I'm up under, and he knows the stress that I have. And you know what? Here's what I like about him. Since he knows it, he wants to handle it. And guess what? He's got an open door policy. Since I got a friend in Jesus, when I call him sometime, his line is never busy. When I call my wife sometimes, she don't pick up. And I know because she's at work. And sometimes she'll put me on hold. I was talking to her Friday, and she put me on hold. And I just hung up the phone because I knew she was on her way home. She said, I didn't call you back because I was right around the corner. And we got a good enough relationship. I knew that she was on her way home. And I didn't get mad. But oh, I got a friend that will never put me on hold. And when I come to him, he's able to handle your problems, and he's able to handle my problems, and he's able to do exceedingly abundantly above and beyond what we can ask. That you got a friend who sticketh closer than any brother. Not only does he knows my problems, this verse says he sticketh closer than any brother. How many of y'all are going through it right now and you need somebody to hang with you? I said, how many of y'all are up in it right now and you need somebody to hang with you? Well, I'm telling you, there comes a time, no matter how your children, how your wife, and how your mama hang with you, it comes a time that they can't do anything for you. But hey, we got a friend that's in Jesus, and he promised to stick closer than any brother. How many of you know that Jesus will stick right there with you? He'll hang with you through the ups, and he'll hang with you through the downs. Don't joke with me in here. I said, how many of you know that Jesus will hang with you? He'll hang with you through the ups. He'll hang with you through the downs. He'll hang with you, listen, when everybody else turn their back on you, and when you fall down and don't know how you're going to get back up, you got a friend in Jesus that will hang with you when folk walk out on you, that will hang with you when doctors shake their head. This is what the verse was saying. He's a friend that sticking closer than any brother. Y'all miss y'all cue, but some of y'all know that he'll stick with you. Hey, when death knocks on your door, he'll stick with you. When you get in accidents, he'll stick with you. When grief hits your body, he'll stick with you. When doctors shake their head, he'll stick with you. I got a friend who will stick with me to the end. And I want to choose my friend wisely, because there's going to come a time, hey, when your best friend is getting ready to leave here, and you got to get in the hands of a friend that stick closer than a brother. I went to a function of a 93-year-old pastor. And he looked at me and he said, Daryl, I told my wife that I'm now ready to be offered up. He said, I told her I've been taking care of her 40-some years of marriage. But he said, but I know my time is near. He said, but I told her that even if I go, you got a friend in Jesus Christ. And how many of y'all know that no matter what comes, you got a friend in Jesus Christ? Somebody needs to hear that. Don't take your life. Don't throw in the towel. You got a friend who will pick you up. That's what the old folk used to say. This friend, he walks with me every step of the way. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going, but I got a friend who walks with me. How many of y'all know that he'll walk with you through the most difficult times of life? He'll walk with me. But not only will he walk with me, I got a friend who'll talk with me. How do y'all know? How many of y'all know that he'll talk with you? He'll tell you, hang on in there, hold on, things are gonna get better. He'll talk to you. He'll tell you that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. He'll talk to you. He'll tell you that I'm able to do exceedingly abundantly above and beyond what you can ask or think. I said he'll talk to you. He'll tell you to cast all your cares upon him because he cares for you. I said he'll talk to you. And I bid you good morning. Give God a hand of praise. I bid you good morning. But the best wisdom you can get in any relationship is by choosing Jesus to be your best friend. That don't take away, Brother Whiteside, what Carmine is doing. Because you know what I watch Carmine do? Not just become a wife, but she has become a friend. See, sometimes I need my wife to be my wife. And sometimes you need your husband to be your husband. But how about other times? You also need him just to be your friend. I told my wife sometimes she comes home every day talking about her job. And for the first several months, I was just being her husband. You know what that means. Well, what you gonna do? You know how husbands are. But then some said, no. Be the husband when you need to be the husband as long as it's not detrimental. Other times, just be a friend. And sometimes friends just listen. Sometimes friends, they let you figure it out, but they drop indirect advice. Listen, one time she asked me, she said, you want me to quit my job? No, she said, do you miss me being here? That's what she said. I said, yeah. She said, you want me to quit my job? I'm trying to help somebody. Now, y'all know what I told her? I said, baby, I ain't tell you to go. And I ain't going to tell you when to quit. My friend said, smart man. Now, in my heart of hearts, yeah, I miss her. She's my partner. But this is a time for sometime as good friends as you walk with the wise. Because I told her, I'm glad you learning something. Not learning something in the marketplace. because it's going to make you valuable to the kingdom. But I pray with her every morning. She don't dart out that door without me saying a prayer. Sometimes, friends, all you need to do is say a prayer. And I want to encourage children, spouses, become one another's friend so you can give wise wisdom, wise counsel. Reverend Squires, for the next few weeks, he'll be doing the morning Bible study, and we'll have videos at night, but we'll still be walking through wisdom. And I want to say this, and I'm done. Jesus, thank you for being my friend. Come on, everybody stand and just tell him, Lord, thank you. Come on, tell him for being my friend. Come on, just tell him, Jesus, I want to say thank you for being my friend.